This week on RSBANDB Update, Leagues 2 promises stronger relics, harder choices, and combat that could reshape the event. We break down Leagues 2 Equilibrium, test the POH fixes, examine the GE upgrades, and ask whether the TzekHaar Cosmetics are right for the future of RuneScape. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of RSBANDB Update. This week, the Leagues 2 reveals are coming fast and furious. We also got Grand Exchange improvements, and the controversial one way or another TzekHaar Cosmetic overrides. Zardones, you're here as you are each and every week. Welcome aboard.
Happy to be here. Happy for Leagues.
Right on, right on. We also have Bears, everyone's favorite RSBANDB Update combat and PVM commentator.
Yep, happy to be here.
And Zant, everyone's environment artist who has worked on many of the RSBANDB Update Patreon projects, the most recent of which just recently went out in the mail that people are enjoying.
Eyeballs emoji.
Absolutely.
So, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. There might be some leaks on some people might have posted them on Twitter, but nonetheless, I assume we're all happy Leagues connoisseurs here this week so far, based on the reveals that we've had.
Yeah, I'm excited.
How do we feel about the combat side of this? Because that's what we got today. The first batch of combat blessing. What's your first take with that, Bears?
All of them seem pretty strong, which is what we want out of League. So I'm excited to kind of dive into what path I want to follow. I mean, there's more information to come, so I'm not getting too far into the weeds yet, but
that's what I want to underscore.
I don't think there's going to be I don't think as of now there's a clear heavy favorite.
No.
Yeah. They all look good. They all feel like they can be overpowered, and I'm excited for it.
What about you? Zardones? What's your spidey senses telling you?
I'm feeling honestly a little bit overwhelmed because
really,
well, it's like I don't play old school, so this is my second Leagues ever, and obviously Catalyst League was kind of like baby's first league. So the combat stuff was really easy, and better for worse, generally speaking, the relic choices were pretty straightforward in the last leagues. So this is giving me a lot of stuff to think about. It makes it really hard to pick.
Okay. And I guess for you, Zant, you were one of the 2% that chose ranged last time.
Wow, bucking the trend.
You feel like you're going to go that way again and maybe be a bit better this time as a result?
Well, I am just a ranger, so yeah, and I personally just really appreciate that it seems, at least at this point in time, that all the combat blessings are kind of agnostic to what combat style you're using.
Sure.
It seems to affect them all in basically the same way. There's no different effects for melee, ranged, necromancy, etc.
You know what I've seen is surprising.
I conveniently left out magic there.
Yeah, magic is
everyone forgets magic.
It's just there. We all know that Malia is still overpowered, right? So
yeah,
one thing that's really taken me, even just within the RSBANDB and Clan Quest communities, but I assume others as well, with the combat stuff, is just how much conversation there has been on the order side, the blue side of the blessings here, and that, there is actually a case to be made where you could run your league in tank armor and maybe even wear a shield sometimes if you wanted to.
I ran in tank armor last time, so frankly, I'm kind of expecting to do that again. And I always was.
And it's just so easy to do that now for all of the skills, given, that's where we have our Star Bloom, Apex, and of course Elder Rune from. So
Primal,
I guess now, right?
Yeah.
So it just depends on how much you want to really put into that. I think one of the most absurd things that came up here, and you can tell me what you think about this, Bears, is for the Order Tier 3. Reflect will reflect 100% of incoming damage plus 10 to 15% of your armor value as additional damage, and reflected damage will hit up to 8 additional targets within 3 tiles of you. So it supercharges that ability.
Yeah, that's wild. It sounds, and it will be so good, but I was sitting there thinking about doing can't remember what abyssal creature it is in the wilderness, but like any of the abyssal creatures really, like just doing a reflect and they're all hitting you and you just deal so much damage to all of them out there. That'll be really cool. It'll be useful at so many bosses. Yeah, that feels so good.
But
Do we
that
know
is
if those work with Bone Shield?
No,
It does not.
They don't?
no.
nope.
Oh.
They are. It seems like they're specifically trying to incentivize sword and board.
Interesting.
Which
Well,
would
that's
be
kind of cool, to be honest.
I saw
Yep.
another theory about that, is that this is kind of a test through leagues to see how
Mhm.
getting people to use shields again feels for a potential defensive rework in Defense 120.
I
Just a
mean,
theory. Just
that could be a
theory.
whole other. This could be a whole other episode on its own. But I mean,
Yeah.
defensives are already kind of overpowered. Is the only way to make shields viable make them even more overpowered?
Well,
Are we okay with that?
well, the thing that comes to mind is two specific OSRS weapons in this case, the Dragon Fire Shield, and just how prevalent that remains into endgame in that game, but also Din's Bulwark from one of their raids. It's a gigantic shield that you basically just charge at people with. So it is kind of leaning into that fantasy there. But the other thing is that if you look at this tier 3 in particular, you're forced to choose between Steadfast Will, that we were just talking about, Eternal Sustenance, which means that your food items are no longer consumed when eaten, and you'll also no longer lose adrenaline when eating. And then on the Chaos side, you have Avernic Rampage, which is a 5% chance to activate Avernic Rampage for 7.2 seconds, which means that abilities and special attacks cause 0 adrenaline. So they're all projecting power forward in one way, and I guess it's just a matter of what you feel, most comfortable doing, because I see Avernic Rampage as something that's very good for the combat styles that are dependent upon special attack, or for anybody who played last league with the Specialist combat relic, the tier 8 one there. So
Right.
The only thing that, like, for the Averick Rampage, it does not synergize well with Adrenaline Junkie, and those are both like the chaotic tiers. Like, if you have more adrenaline and you get more adrenaline every ability, then
Right, you
having
can't dump the adrenaline.
yeah, and then having another thing that gives you unlimited adrenaline or makes abilities cost no adrenaline feels like they're going against each other.
I know it's too early to say this and ask this, but out of the first 3 tiers here, is there any wrong choices that you see? Any of you?
I think it really is just if you end up doing the Abyssal Cinders and no, not Abyssal Cinders, sorry, Adrenaline Junkie and Avnic Rampage, and like you just can't combine those two in my opinion. Everything else is fair game, and then in my mind, just off the information we have now, I'm gonna base it off of which god tier I want, which I have not decided, and then
which in
decide from
itself
there.
is a little bit confusing. If you
that's the other wrinkle here.
2 Chaos, you get the Chaos God Relic. If you choose one of each, you get the Balance God Relic. Or if you choose 1 Chaos and 2 Balance, you get the Balance God Relic. There is no Order God Relic.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, well, it's not in the picture.
Well, so yeah, there is an Order God Relic. The way it works is whichever one, if you pick 2 of any one color, you will get
I
that
see.
color's God tier relic, and if you split equally, you'll get the green relic, the Balance God Relic by default.
I see, that graphic is confusing.
Yeah, okay.
It
That's
is a
why I
tad
was
confusing,
confused
but-
then. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I was like, it's right there, Shane.
yeah, it's literally right there.
I know. It's there now. It's there now. So in terms of the blessing reveals, which ones do we want here? To me, Demon's Mark feels like the weakest because we still have a section of bosses out there that really don't scale that well on accuracy.
Yeah,
Splash
I think
Zone is interesting for training and AoE.
Yep.
And again, I think Sacred Fervor is maybe the one to go with, especially if you go with the first Chaos one. Because the way I view this in general is that damage equals adrenaline. So if you're building adrenaline and you can just have your magic abilities reduced by, 30% time, or any of your combat ones, I feel like Sacred Fervor is kind of the way to go on that side, though I might be putting too many horses in front of the cart at this point already.
No, I mean,
I think I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, Demon's Mark sounds good at first, but like you said, yeah, most bosses don't have affinity weaknesses. And as we keep saying, like, accuracy is not, hit chance is not really a huge factor anymore. On top of, I assume there's going to be hit chance buffs at some point, somewhere in one of these, either as a passive or a relic or another blessing.
Yeah.
So, if anything, it feels like a make game early or make early game easy, but
the one thing with Splash Zone is, Sam, I don't know if you ran into this issue during the last leagues, but
this
with
is
range,
exactly where I was going to this.
Yes, I was doing a clue with range, and it took me to like right outside Solak, and my AoE then targeted one of the Slayer creatures there that I couldn't actually attack because I didn't have the Slayer level, but it killed me while I was trying to do the clue, and I was like, see, the AoE is not always the best.
Yeah, see, for me, it was when I was doing racks, I kept hitting the mirrorback spider.
Yes,
like, there's nothing I could do about it. It was terrible. So that makes me, I want to avoid Splash Zone at all costs, personally. I mean, it sounds like it would be pretty sick to, like, fire off a Saren bow with that, but no,
we have a little bit of PTSD.
Exactly. And see, that's the thing. I feel like order stocks are going up as a result of this. So we'll have to see what tier 2 looks like, but it is worth noting we do get 3 respecs along the way. So if there was a training setup that you were running where you wanted to go heavily into Splash Zone for training, you could do that and then respec into something a little bit more offensive focus by taking Chaos or Order, depending on whatever suits your fancy. So
do we know how many god tiers there are? 2.
Okay. Did they say 2? Okay.
2 tiers and 6 blessing tiers total for a grand total of 8.
Oh, that's a bit more reasonable. I was going to say, if there's 3 god tiers, then my god. These are already really powerful. What are the tier 3s going to be like?
Yeah, so let's just see if they keep amping it up and how high we can go. But that's the combat stuff for now. And like I said, I think we can't count the chickens before they hatch just yet. We got to look at everything else holistically for that with relics and whatnot. But of course, you're listening to RSBANDB Update here. We wouldn't be doing this episode if not for our wonderful experienced tier Patreon members who make RSBANDB Update go. This week, that's Amos Reed, Bladecom, Dominic R, Jade Gizmo, Jason S, Jesse W, Julia W, Kesky Plays, Lemon Lodge, Luminos, Ricky A, Sioaces, Smavin, Snail Mage, The Naked Captain, and Tim. You'll hear more about our Patreon offerings a little bit later in the show, but in the meantime, full show notes can be found over at update.show. We have a friends chatting game that you can find at Bits Bytes if you want to join with us and talk with the RSBANDB Update people in there. And of course, our community Discord is over at update.show/Discord. Alrighty. Continuing on, I have words about one of these relics that has been revealed so far, but I'm going to save that I'm not going to put that ahead. I'm going to go in order of the news post. We don't know what any tiers these are at yet, so just keep that in mind. Again, don't be planning your route as of yet. We kind of just have to sit here and think, "Ooh, that's interesting." We're basically getting taken on the window shopping tour at this point in time.
Have they explicitly stated that, or is that just we think that because they don't have numbers next to them?
Yeah, that's that's generally the way it works, I think. And plus, they did show in their preview video, they showed a blurred relic interface, and it has all 7 tiers of relic powers there. So,
okay.
So they will.
I assumed that the 3 they initially revealed were the first tier.
They are.
We had 3 as the first tier last time. Okay.
Yeah, the first
so-
tier we know, but beyond that, we don't know yet.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
Divine Druid grants you
Druid.
Teresa's summoning pouch. A pouch that stores grimy herbs and charms and acts as infinite spirit and summoning pouches for summoning. Oh, Thera's, not Teresa's, sorry.
There is.
Cleaning grimy herb will turn them directly into unfinished potions, a toggleable feature. Grimy herbs and charms can be found when mining, fishing, woodcutting, siphoning, or extracting archaeology hotspots. This is basically OSRS's friendly forager. All grimy herbs are cleaned at once, 50% chance to create an extra pouch. All charm drops from defeating enemies are increased by 5x. Summoning familiars, which boost skills, boost them by 3 times the amount. Gain a 75% chance to change ingredients when creating potions. When crafting potions, you'll also make 10% of the respective familiar scrolls sent directly to the bank. Always gather enriched memories. Converting energies and memories together only requires half as many energies, rounded down, and so on and so on down this list. Holy crap,
And
that's
breathe.
packed.
It seems really good, though.
And that's
I
what
love
we're
that
gonna,
we get the mail your potion recipes with that. That's kind of
That
nice.
seems like it'll be a big one if you plan to PVM.
Yep.
and we also need to realize that this is potentially the Herbler solve, right? Because it makes getting herbs trivial. And if you take the Golden Touch from the first tier, then there's your secondaries solved. So Herblore becomes really easy with this, as does everything with summoning. It's just a question, of course, what it's going to be put up against. But like, if we count all these bullet points here, 4, 8, 12... This relic does 16 things, folks.
Look at how squished all the
Wow.
text is.
Yeah, there's a lot thrown in there.
This is that power creep and power fantasy they were trying to sell us. That didn't exist in the first league. So I think all the relic tiers are probably going to look like this, and you're going to be spoiled for choices, and you're just going to have to kind of mentally map out where everything goes. Like, I think this relic is amazing, but chances are it's going to be put up against 2 other relics that are just as
Equally amazing, yeah.
So,
Well, that's the challenge.
right. And remember we said last league that there weren't enough hard choices.
Yeah,
Correct.
And
they certainly took that.
and I wanted more
took
of
that advice, took that feedback.
Yeah. Like, I'd like to take this relic power for what it's worth in any of the OSRS leagues I'd previously done. I've never really taken the forager equivalent on that, so this might be an opportunity to do this forward. Is there anybody in the panel right now that feels like they absolutely have to take this no matter what it's put up against?
It will be
Potion
difficult
recipes
to beat.
severely pushes me towards
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like, I don't know, because we also got the drop tables for Golden Touch, and I feel like Golden Touch primarily solves secondaries, but it also solves seeds, which effectively solves herbs.
And we know there's probably going to be a farming relic somewhere too, probably.
So maybe not.
Right, because if the Herbler stuff becomes non-useful out of this, then you're really just taking it for the summoning and divination stuff. And then you can question, how much you need to do that with divine caches and whatnot still being a thing. And if you take Kandarin, you have the Guthix Memorial thing too, so... like we said, it's very difficult to choose, but unlocking all Melior potion recipes is huge, though that does require you to, I guess, get the crystal sandstone from somewhere, which is our next relic power, Transmutation. That was on this list. This one's
you'd
pretty...
either need that or Tyrannon, I think.
Yeah, this one is pretty much a straight copy from the OSRS last league. Allows you to bring up or down any kind of resource to a lower or higher tier. The spells have no requirements around them. They give 10 magic XP before League's multipliers. And for people who are wondering how this is going to work, effectively what this means is that you just go get, say, a stack of air runes as soon as you unlock this and keep transmuting it up. And then with that, you are just going to get passive magic XP as you run around the world doing things. So while this is also effectively a resource solve, this one also ends up providing you the ability to just get passive magic XP and get your magic stat up if you are not going to be a magic combat person for this. So I took
that's
this
way
one
more
last
busted
league.
than I thought.
Yeah, it's a fun one to
I
play
didn't assume you
with.
could just keep upgrading and upgrading. I thought it was just you can transmute a tier.
No.
That's crazy.
So, like, if you wanted to, you could just go and AFK tuna and salmon, right? Or, sorry, trout and salmon. And then you could just transmute all those up all the way to sailfish and then back down. And then that's just repeated XP. It also allows you to get logs, like eternal magic logs, if you are in a region that doesn't have eternal magic trees, as an example. It lets you get all of the primal ores from mining by just, mining something as simple as iron. It lets you get all the seeds. This is your seed solve, Serdones, that you were mentioning as one potential option there. But it's not on finished resources, so it's not on things like bars. It's on the ores primarily.
It's on the ores. It's also notably not on the things that you need for necromancy armors.
So it's not like the ensouled or unensouled bars and all that.
No, it works on necroplasm, works on mementos, works on inks. It doesn't. I don't think it works on gems. It doesn't work on cloths. So, like, if you're going for necro armor, absent any future relics, you'll still need.
No, it works on gems.
Oh, it does work on gems. Okay, yeah.
So you can just go up to Hydrix.
No, not
up to Dragonstone.
Highest is Dragonstone.
Okay.
So it doesn't even go to Onyx.
Gotcha. That seems a bit more reasonable.
So picture this, folks. You take Endless Harvest as your tier 1, and then you go Gemrock mining. And then you transmute all those gems up to Dragonstone. That's your crafting solve.
Mm-hmm.
It also works for compost, too, so you can have ultra compost without needing to farm dragons or get the Infernus Pyroclasts. This was a really strong relic in the most recent OS League, and we'll see what it's up against. It was up against in the OS League. It was up against the Clue relic, and it was also up against something called Butler's Bell, which was a passive butler that gave you XP and a selection of skills plus resources. I don't think we're going to be getting a copy for copy of that, but that's just to illustrate how the choice was made in that tier and how difficult it was. So we'll see what they put this up against. But I can highly recommend Transmutation for anybody who might think they might be resource poor or is not going to be doing magic as their main combat style, because it basically gives you a free 200 mil magic by the end of the league.
Right.
So
one of my friends took this in old school, and the amount of times I heard him say, "Oh, I don't have this resource. I don't have ultra compost," and then the other person playing was like, "Hey, dummy, you took transmutation. Like you can transmute it up there." Like he just kept forgetting that he did that.
Yeah,
and I have a feeling I would do that if I take that relic. But I'm like, I've been using super compost this whole time.
And another big thing with this is it gives you time runes.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
It lets you get the powerful Ghostly Ink by just buying from the store.
And the necroplasms too.
I might be on the Transmutation bandwagon again this league. We'll see what it's up against.
Yeah,
that's hard to say no to.
I'm liking Transmutation personally.
I hope that's not against Divine Druid.
Between the two, I think I would lean Transmutation. But
that's kind of what I'm thinking. The potion recipes makes it tough, but I really hope these two aren't up against each other. I really like both of these.
My gut my gut tells me that Divine Druid is going to be a tier 2 relic.
That's an insane tier 2 relic.
Yeah, if that's a tier 2 relic, I can't wait to see what tier 7 is.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not, but I always feel like the herb.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, but I always feel like the herb lore and the production-y stuff like that is in second tier. Then there'll also be another second tier that covers things like woodcutting or hunter, as an example. So
I always perceive these ones that have a pretty narrow scope of skills to be the lower tier ones.
That would kind of make sense. And I think especially for transmutation, I think that one becomes more valuable the sooner you get it.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Transmutation has the potential to fall off near the end a bit after you've got your after you've got your 200 mil magic, after you've got all your resources sorted and everything like that. So that's another thing to consider when choosing relics. Do you choose something that is going to be usable early on to give you a springboard and it's going to taper off a bit near the end, or do you choose something that's going to let you have more benefit throughout the entire league? So, but transmutation, I was absolutely surprised to see that such a thing exists here. But again, we'll see what it's up against. Probably clues. And then the other ones we have Crystal's Grace, which is okay. Maybe this is more like a tier 2 one. This one only does 8 things, not 16. This is Saren's Crystal Tiara, which acts as an Omni Tiara for entering all rune crafting altars and offers teleports to rune crafting altars in your unlocked regions. It'll also act as a Demon Horn necklace, unlocks all magic spells, regardless of spellbook. When gaining XP in any skill, a 5% chance to obtain Crystal Essence, which can be used in place of pure or impure essence. Rune quantity from Essence, including Crystal Essence, is increased by 3 times. Level-based rune multipliers are always the maximum. Necromancy rituals act as having the following glyphs active without needing to draw them. Multiply and protection at 200% plus attraction and speed 50%. Light sources and glyphs no longer require ingredients, and when burying a bone or offering an altar, you will gain additional XP equivalent to a dragon bone.
So I think 2 points that were clarified in JMod comments that are relevant to this relic. One of them is that the Crystal Essence is stackable,
yes.
which
is
like
crazy.
If it wasn't stackable, that would be kind of a little bit useless. But since it is stackable, like that's really a rune crafting solve. Like just go do anything else, stack up 20,000 Crystal Essence, and then go use it. The other thing that's worth noting is the Abyss will give you access to all rune crafting altars.
So if you take Wilderness, you got that.
Right. If you take Wilderness, you have all rune crafting altars. And I don't think this will work with those because the Abyss will take you directly inside. It won't take you to the outside of the altar. Yeah. So that may or may not mitigate at least some of the utility of this, depending on your point of view.
So where does this get really strong then? I mean, obviously, if you take Anachronia later on for the Time Altar.
Yeah, time rune running. I mean, if you're going for Necromancy, I think if you're maining Necromancy, this will be a huge one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. And the prayer is good, but prayers, I mean,
I think there's a lot of solves for prayer.
Should be fine. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like Golden Touch is a prayer solve. I mean, if you take Prif, you'll have Saren Stones. There's lots of solves for prayer.
Do we know if unlock all magic spells means we don't have to spellbook swap and it's just one master spellbook?
It just means you get all the spellbooks. You still have to change spellbooks.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. One master spellbook would be so good.
I know. I was going to say that'd be awesome if that's what it was.
That would be incredibly OP. So I guess that's sort of by intuitively, that means that spell books will be locked based on region.
Yeah.
So if you want your lunar spells, you got to take this or
Fremennik, which is the meme region, it sounds like.
The meme region. The one thing that region has going for it is lunars.
Yeah, I was just doing a quick think, and I think, it's really that, and...
I mean, there is there is a guy who sells magic stones for construction solves, but there's other ways to get those, so...
Yeah. Okay.
Really stretching there.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Wilderness Slayer Cave? Or Fremennik Slayer Cave, sorry.
Yeah, Fremennik Slayer Dungeon. Yeah. So, basilisks, cockatrices, carrasks.
Jellies.
Yay.
Okay.
Fiends.
I feel probably the weakest on this relic, if I'm being honest, in terms of everything we got so far.
I'd feel differently if I was doing necromancy, but yeah, kind of same.
It would be... I can see how this would be really nice for rune crafting, but yeah.
Though, to be fair, in the OS League, I took a relic just primarily for rune crafting and prayer training that kind of used this same sort of crystal essence-y kind of thing. So, I mean, if you don't have... Or I guess we all have RuneSpan, don't we? And you can just kind of AFK that, so...
Yeah, RuneSpan is Misthalin.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I guess then it depends on, like you said, necromancy versus just wanting to go and have a quick and easy rune crafting solve in that case. So, like I said, I feel the weakest about Crystal Grace. And then we got Superheated, which is a simpler relic again. So maybe these ones are the tier 2s. Maybe I did put the cart before the horses there when I was saying that Divine Druid could be tier 2, but Superheated burns all logs automatically when woodcutting, automatically cooks all fish. Logs are added to bonfires at a rate of 1 tick per log. Lighting just 1 incense stick will provide max potency for 60 minutes. Fire spirits are replaced with blessed fire spirits and spawn more frequently. When smelting ores, you gain double the bars. There's a 3% chance to gain a bonus 50 bars. Okay. When smelting bars, you smelt up to 60 at a time instead of 28. Completing in-progress smithing items will award the invention materials you would have yielded if disassembled. I don't know how big that is. It doesn't seem that big.
Well, it's free breakdown, essentially. I think breakdown is pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, it's not perfection, but it's...
Yeah, we're kind of waiting to see what the invention angle is this year.
Yeah.
Always have max heat and get triple base progress per strike when smithing. This one is huge.
This is basically free smithing.
Yeah. And completing ceremonial sword plans gives you 5x smithing XP and 50 bars for the metal you were using. So, the way I see this one primarily is that you choose this if you want to do fire making and cooking at the same time while AFKing. I think that's the primary use case that I see for this one.
It's basically free fire making, free cooking, essentially free smithing. Blessed fire spirits also give prayer XP, so that's another passive prayer.
Oh, they do, eh?
Yeah, that was in the video.
Okay.
There's one of the weird things about the reveals this year is that there's some stuff that's in the video and not in the blog, and some stuff that's in the blog and not in the video.
And there's also a lot in their FAQ that they've been doing as well.
There's a lot in the FAQ, and there's also a lot in just like random JMod comments.
So,
well, at least we're not getting more 16-point cards here.
Yeah, not yet. Give it time.
Oh man,
I've never taken the equivalent of this relic in any OS league, and the reason for it is because all of the other skills it was up against in around that second tier-ish area where I expect something like this to be was always a more annoying skill, like your agility, like your
Yeah.
hunter, as an example. So I want to see what this is up against, but I'm not too warm on Superheated myself. But
I'm liking this of the two, but yeah, it'll depend on what it's up against.
and I wonder how long they're gonna hold it before saying where these all go on the tier list, or on the I guess tier list, because they're different relic tiers.
Well, they'll have to give us all the relics first.
Yeah,
We've still got one more week of combat relic reveals.
we need the passives as well.
The passives, the easy, medium tasks.
Any kind of specific nitpicks regarding individual regions, though, again, that's kind of triggered out within the FAQs as well. So,
oh, that reminds me. I don't know if this made it in the FAQs or not, but there was a clarification released that Fort Forenthry will not be part of the wilderness. They initially said that it was, but that was a typo, and they've walked.
So everyone gets it.
Everyone gets the fort.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Yep.
And with that, and just construction in general, it kind of negates the need for magic stone construction at the high end, I think, because as it already
it's just fastest.
Like you do your active fort training, and you're gonna get to level 80 or 90 within the hour of doing this. So another interesting thing that came up is that, as an example, for boss drops that have upgrades in other regions, things like the Rex Matriarchs, the ED2 creatures and ED1 creatures, the Rex Matriarchs will drop the full rings instead of just the hearts. Draconic Energy comes with a side of Tectonic Energy, and Ancient Scales will be dropped alongside Serenic Scales.
The Tectonic, it seems really good, because that was one of the things that, it was last year I was thinking about taking magic just to kind of play around with the Sanctum weapons.
Yeah.
But the fact that magic, high level magic armor was locked behind Rago, like screw that. I'm not going to go do Rago. So that's mitigated a bit this year because we now have Star Bloom and the robes, but Tectonic Energy coming from another source is very nice.
Yeah, that makes it easier to choose magic, I think. Anything else in these FAQs here that we want to mention?
Lifting the damage cap, lifting the HP cap.
Bears, how crazy does that sound, hitting more than 30k? You want to do that with melee, right?
I mean, you'll be able to do it with melee, range, necromancy. Magic, for a lot of it, it's a more multi-attack, so that they'll still get close, and still probably go over a little bit. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see what the actual cap is. Is it unlimited, or is it like moved up to 50k?
I have no idea. I want to see somebody hit 100k.
Yeah. So I mean, if you think about it, if you take the which one was it? Splash Zone, where area affectability. What was it? Because doesn't it basically deal more damage if there are no other enemies to hit too?
I think so.
So
it might, yeah.
Doing something like a hurricane. Sort of. Yeah. It's like a chaos hurricane.
I see what you're saying.
Could deal so much damage to a single target. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all that stuff synergizes.
Another big thing is that this is only a 6-week league running until September 21.
Yep.
I saw a bit of back and forth about that, and I have similar, feelings about this too. I understand why they're doing that. They don't want to run into Havenhide. They don't want to run into RuneFest. But is 6 weeks going to be enough for a casual player to do what they want? I know the typical league stuff starts dropping off around the start of week 4, but I'm just wondering if that's still enough time.
Well, let's also point out that Mod Breezy was making comments saying that the max points, sorry, let me not say that. The points needed to buy the rewards and the points needed to reach Dragon tier will be lower this year than they were last year. So personally, from my own experience last year, like I would have called myself last year a casual hardcore player of leagues, if that makes sense. Like I played a lot, but I didn't really play with any kind of plan in mind. I was just kind of pinballing between tasks. And I finished my goal in 7 weeks. And my goal was 63.5K, buy out the shop off my own back.
Okay.
So that took me 7 weeks to do.
Did you get bored?
Yeah, a bit.
It was
a slog towards the end, yeah.
Well, the benefit this time is you're going to be limited to the regions you choose. So there's that. Yep. And they are aiming to bring all the regions into parity, so they have the same amount of points for it, so you don't feel like you're shortchanged if you choose a meme region for the hell of it. Yeah. I was actually seeing conversation in the Friends chat this week that just because Fremennik is such a meme region and there's really not that much end game content there, that it might actually make sense for some faster points.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But we'll see when we start getting the task list on that. So.
Yeah, I quit after week 4 last time, but that was mostly because Rax drop rates were bugged and I could not get the web.
Yeah, I hope they fix all their drop rates this year, because I think Gate was also bugged.
Yeah.
And some of the other big ones out there, yeah.
But I'm already going to be missing the first week of this, so that already puts me down to 5 weeks.
Ooh.
That's rough, yeah.
Yeah.
I did the whole first week last year on mobile, and that was not fun, but I did it.
Wow.
That'll probably be me, if anything, because I will be traveling. So, I mean, I might do a couple things while I can. But 6 weeks makes me feel some pressure to actually, like, play that first week. Because if I don't burn out by week 4, well, that's only one more week that I have versus what I had last year before I got bored.
I think I only have 4 weeks because I'll go out of town in the middle of it. So, but I'm going to hit it hard for those 4 weeks.
Well, as they say, grasp the bar and fly into the wind. Away we go.
Do they say that?
Yeah, like if you're taking off from like a glider off the edge or something, just grasp it and away you go. Wherever the wind takes you is where we end up. As goes the tradition on RSBANDB update. We go with the wind, which our next portion of the update is the Grand Exchange changes. I feel like this was the simplest of the Road to Restoration topics this year, wasn't it? In terms of what we were going to be getting for the GE.
Yeah, I don't think this is. I don't think anyone's surprised by this. Easy win.
No, yeah. Like literally, it's a revamped user interface. That's the main thing. With a lot more fluid search, it shows you what the most recently traded prices are compared to
the average of the 10 most recent trades.
Which is very important because it allows for you to actually get a picture of what's going on in the economy for that. And, the wiki had a big, huge update this week. Like, if we look at your Black Party hat, Zerdones, we can actually go there and we can actually see now what the most recent prices were of everything that was traded on that. So about 9 bill sold 35 minutes ago with a daily volume of 10.
Yeah, not a high volume item.
No. Another thing that I really like doing with this is that this is a good way of being able to actually see what the real, money makers are.
Daily volume 0
out there. I know nobody's actually moving.
Sell price 2 days ago. Yeah.
Nobody's moving the ultra rares on the GE because they don't like that their cartelish behavior can now be seen.
Yeah. Shocker.
But that isn't that the best part of this update, that it puts those shady Grand Exchange type website price checkers out of business?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
As you can actually see now that 3 days ago somebody bought a green party hat for 34.3 bill.
And this data is coming directly from Jagex. This isn't all of the many layers of sketch that Ellie and whatever others existed were.
Yeah. So I'm happy to see that. But the Grand Exchange wiki page also has a new high alc tab that shows high alc margins on items. Apparently one of the highest high alc margins right now is 229k on primal plate legs +3, but you can only buy one of them a day. Or
buy limit is 100. Only one was sold today.
Yeah, right. Okay.
You can buy more if anyone is selling them.
Nobody's selling them.
Yeah.
Divine Rage? An ability codex?
I didn't realize it.
It's below
Alc for almost $1 million.
Yeah, that surprises me. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because, like, if you're an Iron Man, what's the point of getting more than one, right? And not that Iron Man necessarily need a ton of money, but it's at least better than nothing. Better than dropping them.
And, of course, the highest daily volumes are things like Spirit Shards, Feathers, Chronos, Pure Essence, and the like. But this is just a good, list to have, that if you want to go and see, like, what are some of the biggest things you can elk for if you wanted to, you can just start to kind of get an idea of what the margins would be on these items, and if there's anything here you can realistically make money with on that. So how do you guys feel about the actual UI changes in game that we got with this week on this?
I think the gist of it is just the recent things that you've purchased, and the ability to change the the ±20.
Right. You can set
and obviously, the recent trade price there. Yeah, the custom percentage is quite nice, I think. But yeah, the real win is just being able to see, like, how much these items actually cost.
My biggest bugbear has been, I want a button that lets me set the price at the recent trade price, as opposed to the guide price.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because I was doing a lot of God Wars 1 last week, hunting for trophies and selling all of that, because everyone is doing that. So all of the prices are way down. So trying to flog all of my crap has been a real pain in the ass.
I think there was some rumblings about, like, a button that you could use to just sell something for whatever price it would sell for, just instantaneously. But, like, I'd hope that if we do get something like that in the future, that it comes with sort of like a margin to it. So obviously you're not going to be, like, selling a lance for 2 mil, just trying to sell it instantly.
I mean, hopefully it would have the intelligence to be like, just take the highest price you can get for it, while also selling it instantly. But yes, I'm also very hopeful that they will, because that was a highly requested feature when this was first being discussed. And I think they specifically said they de-scoped it for this update, but fingers crossed for the future.
I think that'd be particularly useful on, like, the buying side. Like, I specifically remember in recent memory when I was making Masterwork range, there were certain components I wanted to just buy. I think, like, Vorkath spikes were kind of annoying to buy on the exchange.
I had that problem with Magic as well, where it was just impossible to buy those components.
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of them had such low demand for so long, their prices were so out of whack. Yeah.
And one thing I hope that we are able to have as a result of this is easier GE updates, and hopefully the back end did get some updates alongside with this too, just to make it easier to do that going forward. But who knows? I mean, the GE system is how old? 2007, so almost 20 years old.
Wow.
God. Yeah.
Another thing that it looked like you showed in the video, and I love this feature, is you can just type in soil and it'll come up all the dirts and archaeology, or typing in, like, ECB will bring up Eldritch Crossbow, and it's like you don't actually need to type that out. like something small like that feels so
Yep.
much better too. It's like I cannot name any of the soils in archaeology, but I know there's soil, so I'll type in soil
Yep.
now.
Also, something interesting I noticed, that text box is copy pastable.
Hmm.
Like that is one
Yep.
of the first text boxes on RuneScape that I think you can do that with. Or am I
Really?
missing something?
No, I think you're right. It's not very common. Or if it is, I've never noticed it.
So you could just like,
It doesn't work
copy the
on
name of
Mac
something from a
OS.
wiki or something.
You can't
Oh, really?
Command V.
Oh, if I actually use the control key and not the command key works.
Oh, that's funny.
That's what you get for using a Mac. We're a proud Windows household.
Hey, if I was doing this on Windows, we wouldn't have the same level of video production we do now.
So
That
when
is
I noticed
true.
that box was pastable, I immediately went and tried to copy and paste into the chat box, and that is not a thing. Just putting that out there.
No.
I think that would be
no.
quite bad for this game.
Probably. Probably.
I mean, there's nothing to say a custom plugin couldn't enable that. Just like, because I know there's an emoji plugin on OSRS that lets emojis be used in that game.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Well, I mean, I can think of one thing that could say that a plugin couldn't do that, but whether or not they will, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, we're getting off track here. Anything else with the GE update? They list all of the short completions for those acronyms in the blog post.
Tags,
at the end of
acronyms.
it.
There's quite a lot of them. It's quite extensive.
I'm sure this will be brought forward to the wiki, but like,
Oh yeah,
and
I think they consulted the wiki on these, so I'm sure more will come.
In this vein, I think the thing that Bears kind of said, where you can just type soil and it just gives you all the soils instead of having to type the exact like full name to start out. That's great.
obviously this is everything that has the term seed in it, or no? It's only a fraction.
Okay, maybe it's not 100% working or something.
I don't know. I have no idea. Anyways, not much to write home about there. It's a good update that nobody complained about, and I think we're all happy that we have. So
Yep, easy win.
All right, so before we dive into the POH changes that everybody's been waiting for, a big huge thank you this week goes out to all of our Patreon members, including Alvaro L, Amos Reed, Arvids L, Bladecom, Chilbura, Dominic R, Duramax, Forceful Turd, Guy Lafleur, Imperialis, Jade Gizmo, Jason S, Jesse W, Julia W, Kesky Plays, Lemon Lodge, Luminos, Matt Man, Mighty Myth, Michelle M, Mike Wings, Mongrath, Pernasius, Ricky A, Robbie D, Samuel FL, Sanguine RX, Scott TS, Shirt Pants, Sioasis, Smobbin, Snail Mage, Squidman 8, The Naked Captain, The Dab and Goat, Tim, Ukulele Steve, Woody, Zant, and Zazakon. Thank you so much, everybody. Patreon.com/RSBNB if you want to support the podcast. We have plans starting for as little as $1 a month. For that price, you gain access to a back catalog of 96 plus monthly bits right now. Zerdones, Sirion, and myself will be in next week for a really riveting one. I think this one's going to be riveting based on what we've wanted. We're going to be looking at Mod North's most recent interview and specifically what that means for RS3. So if you want to hear that when it arrives, patreon.com/RSBNB, $1 a month. That's all it takes to listen to that episode and support one of your favorite podcasts. Then we have our community tier for $3 a month, where you get a VIP rank, a special Discord channel, and a monthly shout out at the top of the show, plus high quality stereo versions week to week. And as part of the community tier, this means that you'll have access to all of our community things, like our bi-monthly community nights. We'll ask you from time to time for monthly bit ideas or discussion topics for quieter weeks. Then we also do have our insider tier for $5 a month, where you get a weekly shout out on the show and access to our expanded clips. And with this, of course, you'll also get the RSBANDB update Christmas card at the end of the year. Patreon.com/RSBNB. Thanks so much, everybody. means a lot to us. But let's talk about moving some rooms and some other maybe questionable things that you can do now with the POH. Okay. Then from there,
More love for the POH.
more love for the POH with room moving. Finally.
Yay.
Are you guys happy about this?
No.
Okay, why aren't you happy about it?
Well, when you throw an environment artist at like a housing update like this, I'm gonna try every combination of room next to room to see what like the roofs do, and because I want my house to look great from the outside. I'm not gonna put two rooms together if the roofs look all messed up. I think I've spent like 25 mil just placing and deleting and moving and stacking rooms. So this would have saved me quite a lot of money, but I mean, I don't think this comes with the ability to like move it between floors.
No,
so
I
you
don't
can't
think
just
so.
like, yeah, that so it would have saved me like maybe 10 mil, but
Only.
This is a sample little altar room that I brought out, and you can just click it and move. Now, obviously, we need to walk back into that room in order to be able to edit it again. But you can see you can literally just move it anywhere your heart desires on this, which I think is what a lot of people wanted from the very beginning. And it doesn't require like to stay with the grid. You can just literally make it attach here if I wanted to, like so, as part of my hybrid aquarium / achievement or toy room, as it used to be called. I'm trying to remember what that was before. So
it's especially nice to be able to like move the rooms and like all the furniture in it.
Yes.
Before, I think you had to just like completely nuke your whole setup in order to reposition something.
Yeah, it made it really punishing to experiment.
Mm-hmm.
You guys like how my house has come so far?
I mean, not really. We're not really getting a good look. I think we need to do a cribs episode.
We could do
I know
that.
we did that a little bit. We did that a little bit on the POH update episode, but once we've all had a chance.
RSBANDBupdate homestead.
Yeah.
And I just threw this altar room quickly here together. Then I realized the meaning of putting a single chair in the corner of a room like that. But
that's where Sarah Doman sits.
Yeah, just wait till I get my Saren altar in here. Then we'll have the real conversations about that. Boy. So, and one of the that's a rug. We don't want to do that. No. Why can't I click? There we go. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine.
That's a good spot for a rug.
Yeah, it's just gonna be ants on it. That's fine.
Okay.
It's still good.
I was having issues there. I was trying to use two input devices at the same time. We're good. Okay. So what I was going to say is, if you go edit room, move this room, and you're standing within it, and you shift it out to a point that you're not there, it just moves you out of the room, and there's no problem whatsoever with any of that. So that's a really nice feature that came in with this week's update. But also, we now have flooring options.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And there's no way to preview these without spending the money, is there?
No, although you can see for one thing, you can see them on the wiki. For the other thing, they're not particularly distinct. Like, there's only a handful of actually distinct patterns, and then it's just coloration.
I love the kitchen tiles. It makes me so happy.
I'm going to spend some money for you guys here. You guys want to see the kitchen tiles?
Yes.
Yeah, the kitchen tiles are fantastic. I love how they went with the checkerboard look.
Okay.
Oh, that looks good.
Straight out of the 60s.
One of the things I like about this update is that some of these are quest rewards. So the kitchen tiles, for instance, is a reward from Recipe for Disaster.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
Was that something that exists in the old POH, or is that just all new?
No, this is all new.
Okay.
Temple tile comes from the Daemonheim reward shop.
Yep.
And terracotta paving is from the Wyco reward shop, which I had not bought previously.
Yep.
Mud.
I think there's another one that's quest locked too, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah, and see that's not an issue for me because all the quests are done and most of the mini quests are done too.
Okay, so the herringbones are from Plague's End. Dark stone slabs is from Love Story. Makes sense.
Oh, this is the Laledia floor.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both of the herringbones are from Plague's End. Dark stone slab is from Love Story, and then terracotta is from Waco. Temple tile is from Daemonheim, and kitchen is from Recipe Disaster.
Did you put temple tile on yet, or did I miss that?
We can do temple tile. Floor.
We cannot do temple tile.
I don't
Shane
know.
has not bought it.
Mm.
There's a picture someone put on Reddit. I think it got posted in the RSBANDB Discord.
Yeah, I was about to go look for that right
Yeah.
now.
The temple tile it's like a white square with black diamonds in the corners.
Oh, that one's really pretty.
Yeah.
Another thing that came in this week with the POH stuff is they updated a lot of the paintings to be modern high-res versions, such as this Isifdar one here.
Yeah, I noticed that on the first
Ooh.
week, like they updated all the portraits. So like King Arthur has this really high-res fancy portrait, but it's still all the old low poly, or was all the old low poly landscapes. So you'd have like this really impressive picture of King Arthur next to 3 glorious polygons of Mauritania.
Can I get Mud Black Witch's Sexy Zamorak yet?
Yes.
Everybody's been asking for that.
but we need it.
That was
We
one
need
with
it.
that was the one
I
with
would
the
pay
feet and the
for it.
toes, right?
Any of them.
Like,
Any
please
of
sell that. I would spend real money for that.
All right. Other things that they did, they made more capes so that they have usable options. One of them being the quest cape. You're now able to use all of its teleport options there.
They also added a bunch of just non-functional cosmetic capes that weren't added previously, like a lot of the Castle Wars capes or the classic cape, which is the one that made me really excited.
Okay.
Finally, something to do with that cape.
Yes. Like there's no utility to doing it. It's purely to show off, but it's a nice addition.
And see,
They
the
did remember the bench sitting cape, but they didn't put on the classic cape.
Oh, that's too bad. One of the other things that you can do now, the comp cape includes the ones that you can put on the pedestals, and it doesn't respect your customizations, I must say. It doesn't respect whatever you set your comp cape to be. It's just the default one, which is unfortunate.
Lame.
But you got all the full features of it. So the Kandran Teleport, Manor Farm, Max Skill, Skeletal Whore, Restore Summoning Points, and Manage Skill Cape perks if you wanted to on that. So, and
it's kind of convenient to have that in the house.
And with that, there is also a whole list of all the capes that you can do for that as well on the cape stand wiki page here. You just got a whole list of all of them that have their features that now work. So Legends Cape, Comp Cape, Dungeoneering Master Cape, Slayer Cape,
The inverted capes, Comp Trim,
Master Quest, Slayer, and that's it. So
yeah.
I mean, overall, I feel like we're getting through most of the teething issues with the construction stuff, so that's good. You also have the ability to use noted potions to fill your cauldrons now, if that's something that's been an issue for you. So, I mean, I obviously think moving rooms was probably the biggest thing that people wanted as a result this week, which has now finally been delivered. So everybody can rejoice about not needing to spend hundreds of thousands of GP just to move their big achievement halls. So,
yay!
Oh, hundreds of thousands, huh?
I know you spent millions.
Hundreds of thousands if you're lucky.
Yeah. All right. Now, there was always going to be a bit of question about how controversial this would be. in terms of the TzekHaar marketplace editions. Specifically in that, first, they updated the way that all the Zuk capes look this week. But secondly, they added a series of paid overrides that you can buy. It's a little bit misleading from this screenshot right here, but effectively there's 3 packages you can buy. You can buy one that acts as a new Obsidian style override for the base 4 combat styles. So that's the blue, the red, the green, and the purple capes. That's one override. Then you can buy an Igneous style override for the full Igneous Zuk cape that you get from completing hard mode. And that's one of the one in the middle. And then they went one step further. They added an Infernal Igneous override that looks like OSRS's Inferno cape. How do we feel about that? Bears, I know you picked these up. What's your favorite? What's your thoughts on this monetization?
I like it. I think it's healthier for the game than Scale of Fortune and the Wheel, whatever the other one was. So I think as a community we voted for this sort of monetization, and I feel like, especially on an Iron Man where GP doesn't matter, I was happy to buy a couple bonds to get one of the capes, and like it looks good. And so I think they need to realize that people are willing to pay for this sort of stuff, and that this is how the community wants the MTX to keep moving forward. But overall, I think they also just look good, and that's going to be a big part of how they will get people to purchase this stuff, is they've got to make sure the quality is very high.
What do you think, Zant, in terms of the graphical direction they went on this?
Well, they look great. I think all of them just look awesome. I mean, I'm honestly not the biggest fan of the Infernal Cape, but it's a huge nostalgic thing to a lot of people who play old school, so I understand that. But I think for me, just functionally, this solves kind of a problem I've had with cosmetic capes in the past, where I don't want to wear them because they're not really tied to any achievement I've gotten. This allows a bit of customization that still kind of references an achievement that you've gotten. So, I mean, that's why I've always in my 120 div cape. And I mean, I'd love to wear a rainbow cape, but I'm not going to, because it doesn't, I don't get to stare at my div cape that I grinded for. And I think this is honestly a very nice creative way to incentivize people to buy cosmetics outside of them just being nice looking cosmetics. But it also doesn't really like provide extra achievement that you purchased the cape. It's just pointing at, hey, look at me, I killed Zuk on hard mode with these requirements and decided to get a different cape for it.
Yeah, and that's one of the other things I wanted to bring up with this, is that you do need to have actually owned the capes in order to get one. So you can't just have somebody who decides they can't kill Zuk and ultimately, you know, go and get the Inferno cape as a variant of that. So
yeah, and I think that just gives players who have that cape another reason to want to buy it. And initially, when I saw them doing this, I thought it was strange that they're kind of limiting the potential market for this item in that regard. Like, you have to have the Kalzuk to even buy that cape right there. But I think that's actually going to incentivize more purchases, because it's not just some random cape. It's actually tied to something you've done, like I said.
Right. It's in some ways, it's kind of a marketing tool. It's an incentives to say, oh, you really like this. Well, here's how you get it.
And also, I think it's an excellent precedent to be updating the capes, that the alternative capes to this that you just get from in-game while they're releasing these. I hope that continues.
Right,
like,
because
I hope there's no
a
situation where like base fire cape stays the same and we get some crazy fire cape variants. I mean,
because you remember when
those,
bad
example, but
when those other capes came out, when Zuk first came out, you were actually on that Zuk episode, I think. That we all said the capes really didn't look that great for, that era of design.
And
And
they were quite blocky, quite
that
ugly.
had always been a piece of feedback on that. So
Yeah, I'm thinking they're even with just the marginal changes they made this week, it's improved a lot. Like they sit much nicer on the shoulders. I mean, I've always thought the pattern on the back, like with the lava kind of oozy kind of look with the glow coming through, was really cool. But yeah, they always looked like a surfboard on your back, sort of.
Yeah.
Zerdones, how do you feel about the inspirations from OSRS?
For me, I don't care because I don't play old school and I have no particular nostalgia for the Inferno cape. The thing that keeps getting me is who is it for? Because it's not for old school players. At least I would hope it's not for old school players, because those seem to be the ones that I've seen who are reacting the most negatively to this. Because I have seen a fair bit of negative feedback. I don't know if it's like a large proportion of the overall response, but I've seen a fair bit of negative feedback to this cosmetic release, and specifically the fact that it is tied to an in-game achievement, with some people complaining that it devalues combat achievements by incentivizing Jagex to put cosmetic rewards behind paywalls as opposed to in-game accomplishments, which,
How does that
to be
devalue
fair,
an achievement, though?
to be fair, I think that position is stupid,
Okay.
but it exists. And maybe I'm being uncharitable by
Well,
saying this. I suspect that opinion will be more prevalent in the old school community, where they do seem to have a very strong reaction against this kind of monetization, or any kind of monetization.
The reason they say that is because there's a Blood Torva override, as an example, on OSRS that you get from doing an achievement like that. Whereas
Right.
they're saying, oh, well, RS3 just sells it.
Well, I
Right.
mean, in an ideal world, I would expect to have that in RS3, but we have to make up all the revenue that is lost from Treasure Hunter, and I don't think just, run-of-the-mill direct purchase cosmetics that have no tie to actual in-game items are as incentivizing as something like this. Like I could see this as being a system for these kind of purchases in the future that actually does drive more revenue specifically from cosmetics. So, I mean, in an
Right.
ideal world, yeah, I would want the variants to be just unlocked from in-game, but in terms of the way they could be monetizing this game, I think this is one of the more friendly ways they could go about it at the
I
end of the
also
day.
think, like, on a practical level, for several reasons, one of which being just the fact that RS3 has to make money where it can, and also because it's more expensive to make cosmetics for RS3 than it is for old school. The choice in
Hmm.
RS3 isn't between Blood Torva from hard mode next or whatever versus Blood Torva sold through the shop. The choice is Blood Torva sold through the shop, or no Blood Torva.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
back to the question about like who is this for? I mean, I think there's a lot of nostalgia just around the fire cape, even in RuneScape 3. And I think it kind of taps into that a little bit with this Infernal Cape. It looks very similar, just a different color scheme.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what makes me want to purchase that one if I ever get the Kalzak. And that's why I kind of wish there was a necromancy purple version I could just wear everywhere, because it is almost like personalized nostalgic-ish version of that same old fire cape that I still think is super cool.
And the other thing I wanted to bring up with all of this is that there is no world where a cosmetic override like this brings in as much revenue as running smoldering lamps or a new rare item over Treasure Hunter did. There is no world where those compete and are equal.
No, you need to have a lot of these constantly.
Yeah. We can maybe get close-ish if there's enough volume of this kind of stuff being released to the point where, you know, what we got, like cool looking, I don't know, different tier 90 armor sets that have different looks to them and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of potential here.
The other
In
thing
that
that I
area.
saw, and this is reminiscent of how things went previously in the previous era of Squeal and Treasure Hunter, is that this is boiling the frog again. In that Squeal of Fortune started small, morphed into Treasure Hunter, and became more egregious over the years, right? The other analogy I saw this week is that this is the tip of the iceberg when it comes to these sorts of monetization items. First, this one's tied to an achievement in game. Then, following from that, you realize that this one, they did a gesture of goodwill with this, where it's going to be available 100% of the time. It's not going to disappear at all from the market. It's not. They were very clear about that. But imagine a world going forward where, to bring money in from these sorts of cosmetics, the following happens. They go on a rotation that they're available. We've already seen that happen a bit with some of the other items that are, phased in and phased out. But let's say we get to a point where people have to start buying random chance boxes again. But this time there are only cosmetics in there. No in-game items that can disrupt anything. How would we feel about that if this game got to a point where its monetization model, one of them, was like the Fortnites or the Overwatches of the world, where there were those gamble boxes, but they were just cosmetics only, available at a very high price point because of that gamble mechanic, and then phased out. That was the other thing I saw this week, is that people were worried we're heading back down that direction of boiling the frog.
I mean, personally, I don't care. Gamble on cosmetics.
Because the game has to have a way to make money, right?
Well, yeah.
I think my general response to people who are worried about that kind of thing is that this sort of monetization is always a two asshole system. There's the asshole who's selling it, and there's the asshole who's buying it. So if you don't like it, don't buy it. Easy solution.
If the podcast platforms didn't have language requirements or don'ts, that would be the title this week.
Well, we could do two a-hole system. That would work.
We could.
Two-hole system.
But and see, I just wanted
That's where Shane's chair comes in.
What? My chair? What's wrong with my chair?
In your altar in your house.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know what's wrong with your chair. I'm not going to judge, but
I think overall, I can't see this going the route of literally being loot boxes again. I probably wouldn't mind if it did, but I don't know, games like CS:GO, there's a bit of an economy around that. So like, what happens in RuneScape when you just pull a bunch of duplicates? I mean,
right.
There would need to be something kind of figured out to even facilitate that. But I think the more immediate concern I have about this is if these set a precedent of just looking way, way, way better than the in-game version, which I don't think they're setting that precedent here at all, because they updated the just, the Cal's Up cape in general. And I personally don't think these look, I think whether you think it looks better or not is completely subjective at where we are now. There's no kind of like fidelity difference going on here.
They're more ornate, but they're not better necessarily.
Exactly. Like, it's flashier for sure, but that doesn't necessarily make it just better. Yeah. I'd be more also concerned if they go down more of a FOMO limited time route with this, which I honestly did expect with how they treated more recent cosmetic drops, and
like the sandwich outfit
phased out. Is that one of the ones that got phased out?
I think so.
That's the one that I think it just left recently, and that was my concern as well. Yeah.
So I mean, if they went down that route with this, I'd start having a bit more of an issue with it. But the in-game achievement thing, I think I like that more than anything, because if there comes out a cape that I actually like the appearance of, and it is just an alternate cape of some other one I have in the game, I would probably actually wear that now, instead of it just replacing whatever achievement cape I've already had just because it looks good.
Here's an idea that'll sell buckets. You ready for this?
Oh no.
Alternate 99 and 120 skill capes.
That's something I kind of thought about. But I think if they just did that and kept the existing modern skill capes looking like they do, problem. I think they all look terrible nowadays, honestly.
Yeah, just give them cloth
And
physics and that would be good enough, right?
no, bring back the colored tassels in the front. Like,
Oh, right.
like that was the coolest part of them
giant
in the
80s
shoulder pads. Yeah, like come on.
Princess Di shoulder pads.
Oh, if we ever meet up, we have to have 80s night then, right?
I personally can't think of anything. Like, yeah, I guess that's a little weird, but I don't think that's problematic. Like, I can't really think of any item in the game that they could do this with that I would just have a problem with unless they're making a version that is definitely the higher fidelity version.
Yeah.
Like, if they kept skill capes the way they are and the new ones that you buy are just this crazy, nice looking version with cloth physics and everything, and it's got more functionality to it and more tech that went into it, then yeah, that's pretty not great. And this also maybe a little bit of a side thing, but this also like makes me wonder about what the future of those like the cosmetic packs of like re-releases of some of the armor that did get like a major fidelity increase. Like what happens with that? Because that's kind of this other weird system now that we have this kind of thing going on.
Like the rune armor and whatnot.
Yeah, like the god
like
armors.
This, yeah. I couldn't think of the exact name off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or the dragon. It makes that system feel a little bit odd now. And I mean, I always hated that they don't update the in-game model, but I'm just really glad that they are bringing things up to match the fidelity level of these. That's great. That it makes it basically it's not the same issue we had with the god armors where you're getting a version that is paid only and is probably just how that armor should look in game no matter whether it's paid or not at this current year.
They also added the TzekHaar bundle, which includes the lava trail, the TzekHaar spear, the TzekHaar guard, so bringing that same sort of flame style into necromancy. Though keep in mind, if you were running the purple necromancy cape, that would clash. So I guess the idea behind this is you would run the TzekHaar guard and lantern with either the full-on igneous override or the inferno override for that.
Now that you say that, I am surprised they didn't make those purple. I hadn't thought about that before, but
also
now
the
that you say
TzekHaar crossbow.
Or just like recolorable to, the 4 colors.
Yeah.
Because that should be simple, right, Zant? It's just like applying a color shift to change this from orange to purple. Yeah, I'd assume it would be. I mean, yeah, I'd assume it would just be like sort of like a material instance of the base one that they use that's applied to all of them. They just have to apply that same kind of thing to the cosmetics. So, all right. Anything else on that? Because I feel like it's not controversial, but there's a portion of the community that wants it to be controversial.
I will say they are expensive. And I personally find the fact that the Kalzuk cape itself is like it's the same price as the bundle. Like I don't understand why the higher achieving cape is more expensive for some reason.
Because it's
I
shiny.
think they should have just sold each. I think they should have just sold each individual cape for a lower rune coin price. And also, it is a rune coin price that requires you to buy, like I think, the 800 rune coin pack if you don't already have some. Which isn't that the $20 US one?
Yeah,
so
something like
functionally, these are $20 if you just want to buy one.
Which
that's a lot for a cape.
Did we ever imagine
that puts the
we would
sandwich
be
lady outfit, a run for its money? I mean,
did we ever imagine we'd be in a world where you would have single cosmetics like this that would be worth that much in RS3?
No, that seems very expensive to me. In fact, if there is any issue I have with that, yeah, that's it.
All right. Bears or don'ts, anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
I don't care.
Yeah.
If you like them, I'm happy for you. Buy them. Buy all the things. Give Jagex your money.
All righty.
Keeping the game running.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where all that lands as time goes on. But Well, with that being said, let's move on to our achievements of the week this week. We have Ormeen, who got 99 attack on July 28th, as well as 99 strength. Rhino got 200 mil construction on the 27th. Light Salot got 120 prayer on the 26th, and 120 firemaking on the 26th as well. Congratulations.
Moving on to other achievements, we got Pernasius, who got the pet at Corporal Beast at 584 kills on the 30th. El Jefe Longbottoms got his second Dark Onyx core on July 27th. Zerdones with the Effie pet at 174 effigies. And then Drizzly Lemon finished the Eldritch Crossbow at 120 KC. Congratulations.
How do you feel about that second Onyx core that El Jefe Longbottoms got?
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for you, boss, but I'm also so jealous.
Because you've been going for that too, haven't you?
Well, I did my 120 melee in the Wilderness Slayer specifically because I wanted to get one after they took them out of the flash events. And I did so much Wilderness Slayer. I did an unreasonable amount of Wilderness Slayer, and I still didn't get a damn core. So angry.
And he's got 2 just from doing herb runs.
I mean, he did a lot of herb runs, to be fair.
Makes me think I should resume herb runs again.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you ever stopped.
They are.
I'm surprised you're not doing them right now.
They are good money. I can't concentrate on multiple things, as evident by the edit notes of this episode. Eagle-eyed listeners will know. I don't know if you guys on the hosting side have noticed what we forgot up to this point so far, but that's what happens when you get excited. But rounding that out, what do you got for the pick of the week, Zant?
So, Avatar Studios showed the first teaser trailer for their third series, which is Avatar Seven Havens. So, the Avatar series, it's Nickelodeon's show that started with Avatar The Last Airbender and had a sequel series, The Legend of Korra. So the idea is there's this person in the world where people can kind of like bend the elements, air, water, earth, and fire, and, you know, shoot flames out of their fists or control rocks and create gusts of wind and stuff like that. And the Avatar is the only person in the world that can do all 4. Usually most people, well, all people, they can only bend one element. So, you know, we had Avatar Aang and Avatar The Last Airbender, and then The Legend of Korra had the next Avatar in the cycle who started as a waterbender named Korra. And in Seven Havens, we have Avatar Pavi, who is an earthbender at the start. And it's a bit more interesting this time. She's a 9-year-old girl who has a peg leg, and one of the major plot points that we know right now is that she has a twin. And so there's this thought that maybe there's 2 avatars in this world now. And many other implications that could have to do with that. And there's quite some speculation about, with some events that happened in The Legend of Korra, how that actually was facilitated. But it's interesting, like it's really interesting to see with this show, they are calling back to Korra's adult life way sooner than we expected. Like in this first teaser trailer, we see that something happened with her that eventually led the world to this great cataclysm, which is why the world of Seven Havens seems to be sort of post-apocalyptic. And it's called Seven Havens because there's these 7 locations around the world, the Havens, where all of humanity lives now. Anything outside of that is just this untenable wasteland with these giant spirit storms and such like that. But as someone like me who has been a big fan of the series ever since I was a young kid, to see a sequel to the sequel of the show that I watched as I was a kid, it's just very exciting. This is such an interesting universe, and they put a lot of care into it. There's a lot of like spiritual awakening type stuff that you can process through this show, and it's just always really well done. And also, this is coming off the hype of, we just had the Avatar Aang, the Last Airbender movie, come out recently. So it actually showed the original gang, Gaang, because, you know, Aang. It had them as adults, like in their 20s, which was just really cool to see. And it was this beautifully animated movie.
I was gonna ask, like, is this one of those series that aim to, you know, bring the people along who watch this as kids on Nickelodeon towards movies that they're gonna carry through into their adult life with?
Yeah, but at the same time, it still seems it's still mostly a kids-ish show. I mean, especially with how we're seeing that the Avatar in this show is a bit younger. Like Legend of Korra was definitely a bit more grown up than Avatar: The Last Airbender was. But it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. It's really all up in the air at this point. There's just a lot to speculate about based on what we know, and you know, it's following this really interesting timeline that this universe has within it, where you know there's a cycle of avatars that you know one is born pretty much instantaneously when the previous one dies, um, and like they get reincarnated with all the knowledge and experience from the past avatars, like able to be accessed at any given point, pretty much. Well, not at any given point, but
one of the good things I already see from it is that it has been booked for 2 seasons, so it won't be the case where you have so many modern TV shows that are just booked for 1 and then disappear after that. So you at least got got 2 out of it. We'll, of course,
there's a bit of an expectation that we get 4 seasons with this because Korra started as just The Legend of Korra, the second series. It started as just a quick mini series characterizing the next Avatar for 1 season, and then it had got such great reception that they got funding for 4 whole seasons, and it had this, and it was quite awesome in that regard. But because of that, it kind of affected the show a bit because it was like each season had to have its complete own arc that was sort of independent of the other seasons. Whereas this one, I could totally see this being more like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where the entire series is Aang like building up to fight the Fire Lord. And you know that basically from the start. Korra didn't have as great of a buildup as that. It was like each season has its own entire arc in that regard. So I hope at least within those first 2 seasons we get something really satisfying that crosses those 2 seasons. But if they do go the 4 full seasons, I could see that being quite awesome. I guess the only other thing on this is it has been quite controversial. A lot of people are, I think, I
did see some of the discussion on that.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be in this weird post-apocalyptic fatigue phase with a lot of the kind of media we've gotten in recent years. But I mean, I think it makes perfect sense for this universe specifically to kind of explore that. Because it's very clear that in the last show, things were becoming unstable. And to see this kind of play out is very interesting. There's some controversy over the art style as well. I think this is the first show that's not being animated by Studio Mir, who did, I'm not sure if they did Avatar: The Last Airbender, but they definitely did Korra. And that show was gorgeous. It was all oil paintings and animation on top of them.
I know this seems like I've never watched any of it, but I'm definitely aware of that style in terms of what they chose for that.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. But this one, it's overall a bit more flat. Like the characters don't have as much shading to them. Their faces are a bit more bubbly looking, but the environments take on this really interesting style where it's a lot of interesting line work in there, and the colors and just the atmospherics and the weather effects and how they're rendering all of that in there is definitely a step up from Korra and previous series, I think. It's looking to be quite interesting. I'm hyped, and it comes out on October 9th. That's so much sooner than anyone ever thought. We thought this was Q3 2027, but that is awesome that we're getting this soon. I'm through the roof about it. I'm so hyped.
Bears or Dones?
I'm gonna binge it.
Either of you familiar with this universe?
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. My wife and I probably every year or 2 we go back and watch Avatar: Last Airbender and then Legend of Korra, and we always like sit down, finish Last Airbender. We're like, gosh, that's so good. Like Korra can never live up to that. And then we watch Korra and it's like, gosh, this is so good. Like they're both so good.
So basically, it's riding on a lot here.
Yeah.
In my life, yeah. I remember that was like the first TV show when I was young that I was like, actually like, okay, the new episode is whatever night it was. Like, I want to sit down and watch this. And that was a little bit before DVR even still. So it's like, I couldn't record it. Like, I was watching the show because I loved it growing up. So it's like, that has that nostalgic aspect to it. But then like Korra really was like, I didn't really watch it until college, but it's like still so good. So yeah, I'm hyped for this.
Does anyone wish you could return to those simpler times, like where if you wanted to watch something on TV, you had to actually book the hour and know when it was going to be, and know on what channel?
No.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Zant. There's pros and cons. It's really annoying, but at the same time, I do think there's something to be said for the staying power that a show has when you're not just watching it all in one day.
The commercials when you're watching something live, that's what kills me. Like I like love watching a show like a couple days after it came out and like on a platform that I'm paying so I don't get ads, and you just like know there's a cliffhanger right here that they went to commercial on, but you don't have to deal with that commercial.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
always remember
VCRs are
missing
for.
certain episodes.
That's what VCRs are for.
Yeah, we had TiVo back in
classics.
the day. That was amazing. Overall, I just think this whole universe, just the Avatar universe, it always like the shows always have like a great message to them as well.
Yeah.
And like just me being an artist, like this whole universe is something that has definitely inspired me.
I wish I could show the preview on the video version of the show, but I'm not going to do that because bad things happen.
Probably going to get copyright strike
if I show big videos like
Yeah.
that. So, but nonetheless, that is linked in the show notes over at update.show. I'm glad that both of you seem to be interested in that. It's always nice when the picks of the week kind of converge like that, and everybody has their own interest reason for it.
It's like that week when me and Lemon were both hyped about the pit.
That was the one about the doctors, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, good. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I know the League's reveals are going to come fast and furious, and we're recording this on the Thursday night, so by the time you're listening, you will have at least another 2 days of reveals from what we've talked about. So just keep that in mind. That's why we always say recorded at when the show begins. So just keep that in mind. But if you want to grab the next one right when it's fresh, the best way to do that is to subscribe on your favorite podcast listening service. Run all the big ones out there: Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Spotify, and more. And of course, we're also on YouTube at youtube.com/RSBANDB, where we share a video version of the show. And we've been trying for the last couple of weeks some segments and some shorts. So if you see those, again, that's what that is, to just kind of bring the hot bits of the show out to a wider audience via the YouTube platform. I know I always complain about how YouTube works for podcasting, but it is what Google provides us. So we just have to kind of work with that. But where all your favorite podcasts can be found. Zerdone's always good having you on. Everyone's favorite Eastern Canadian.
Yeah, make sure you say that properly.
Oh?
Oh, you don't want to forget the eastern part.
Oh, right. right. Fair enough.
God forbid.
And of course, Bear, it's always good having you on. I know we weren't going into, combat directly this week. We kind of did with the blessings, but we did as well with the TzekHaar stuff. So always good having you with us.
Yeah, love being on the show. Thank you.
And of course, Zant, that discussion on those capes wouldn't have been what it was without you there. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
And of course, Patreon people, he is exactly who you have to thank for what arrived recently in the mail. You guys know what that's about. Our lips are sealed, though, for everybody else. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next week for another episode of RSBANDB Update. See you then, everyone. Take care.
Bye.